Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Kristen McCary, and I'm here with your host,
Janine Corcoran, a broker for Corcoran Connect, a real estate company.
All right, and it is that time of the month. We are going to talk about sales that happened in June of 2022, the market report for June.
That's right. And before I do that, welcome back.
Yes, thank you. I had COVID. It sucked. It was very terrible for me. I mean, a lot of people had it worse than I did, but it really, I'm still 2 weeks later and I'm still exhausted and a little congested, and so it kicked my butt. But
it went around the whole office, and we weren't even near each other, which was interesting.
I know. I'm pretty sure Kim Gamble gave it to me. I've been blaming her because she got sick like 2 days before me. But yeah, it was the first time for me and for Rachel. We both got COVID for the first time. 2.5 years I avoided it, but last it finally got me. So I think there's a Kristen-sized hole in the couch downstairs that I laid in for an entire week, and I took a lot of naps. I love naps, but I took a lot of naps. The
best was because Kristen had COVID. I took Rachel up to FSU for our college tour, her first one, and I grabbed a COVID test with me because I thought, well, we went the night before. What if she gets sick? And she didn't. She took the test before she went. She felt good. Went to the whole FSU with, I don't even know, 50 people that were in the group. And then on our 4.5-hour ride home, she said, Mima, I'm not feeling so well. And I said, okay, well, I have a COVID test in the back seat if you want to take it. And sure enough, she took it and she was positive. I wasn't worried because I had COVID
a couple weeks
before. I mean, yeah. I don't get sick, and I only knew I had COVID because Bill had COVID really bad, and so I took the test and found that I had it, but I'm asymptomatic, so I walk around.
It was no problem.
Yeah. No problem.
And for the record, Quentin and I had been out of town shooting, so we hadn't even been around Rachel. She literally, we must have just seen her for, maybe an hour.
She picked you up at the airport.
She picked me up from the airport. So that must have been it. I shedded all my COVID juices all over. Anyway, so.
It's going around, folks. I mean, it's just going around this time quicker. And people aren't getting as sick as from what I hear. Yeah. At least people I know. So.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Except for
maybe
Kristen.
I'm a big fat baby.
No, Bill was pretty sick. I mean, he wasn't less sick as you were, but he had the fever.
Yeah, the fever sucked. It was rough. So anyway, but I'm back. So yay. Sorry the market report's so late this month, but we're back. And
so for the month of June, because we're ending July and it's going to be August soon. So
I know. I'm not ready. School starts soon.
I know.
Gosh.
I know.
Okay, so for June of 2022, what happened we'll start with 34769.
Yep, 34769. So we had 47 sold. 42 of those were single stories, 5 were 2 stories. The 1 stories coming in at almost $240 a square foot compared to last month at $233 a square foot. And then the 2 stories came in at, almost $215, and last month came in at $190. So it's interesting. And last month we had about 47 that sold. So about the same amount of houses are selling. I am noticing more and more, even, for myself, from, the area that we handle, the houses are staying on the market longer, and it's not, it's kind of just like, old market, new market, not a bad market, just corrected market.
Can I be honest? It's like traditional market.
Traditional market is.
You put the house on the market and you have to actually entice buyers to come.
Yes.
And, and you got to price competitively. Gone are the days of coming in wildly overpriced and still getting 50 offers. That's not happening. So you really have to be strategic now. We're back to I feel like a normal market.
Absolutely normal market. All the coaches say the same thing.
Right. Although everybody's like, oh, it's a crash. It's not. Well, it's a normal market.
When you listen, it depends on what news media you look to. It scares you. It's like, no. And then the whole 5-6% folks, before COVID, that's where we were.
Right.
I was like, everyone has a short memory. They think 5 or 6% is like, oh my gosh, that's so high. It really wasn't. Like, we got those low interest rates during the whole COVID thing.
Right.
It started.
Yeah, and I think I saw a statistic somewhere the other day, and I wish I could find the source. Hopefully I can find it and put it in the comments. But there's a statistic that the average mortgage, the traditional average mortgage rate was like 8%. Mm-hmm. So this is still a really good interest rate. I just think that the people that were in the market to buy before at a lower interest rate obviously have less purchasing power now.
Absolutely.
So that's where that feeling, I think, comes in, that they're not getting as much house for their money as they thought, as they could have 6 months ago. So
Right. And there are also good programs to help with that, to help offset those prices, like the Heroes program and things like that. I mean, there's programs out there for those first-time home buyers that are now like, oh my gosh, I can't buy ever again.
I will say that it actually gives me hope, though, for the first-time home buyers. Like, I feel like other people are kind of like pulling themselves out of the market. You know, maybe they're
investors, you know,
whatever.
Like,
but I feel like this is now first-time buyers just really getting the opportunity to get back in there and start submitting offers again. So that's exciting for me for first-time buyers.
And another thing I'm saying is sellers are helping with closing costs. Even the builders are doing that.
Right.
So that's back. Builders are giving realtor bonuses, buyer closing costs, and now regular sellers are doing the same thing.
Right. Yeah. So that's back too, which is nice because,
so
you know, for 2 years, that was gone.
How about this? How about instead of getting money towards closing costs, is asking the seller to buy down your rate?
Right. That's good. If the rate's that big of a deal. But if you look at it, because we looked at that when we were closing on our home because the rates had just started going up. I remember freaking out because it was, I think we got 4.675 or something, which now I'm like, oh, that's actually not that bad. But, we looked at buying it down and it really didn't make, I would have to stay, we'd have to be in the house for like 6 years or something like that to make that money back that we would have bought down. So to me, the money on closing costs would have been better than, So anyway, but there are definitely options out there. So it's interesting to see what's happening with that. So in 34771, now this is always our busiest zip code.
Busy zip code on Arcussie Road, right below Lake Nona.
Lake Nona South.
Yes, absolutely. So you want to do that one?
Yep. So in June of 2022, we had 90 sales total. The average price per square foot at $225.92. So almost $226. Your one stories had a price per square foot of about $242. And the two stories were at $190, just call it $193. And so what does that compare to last month?
So last month we actually had more sales. We had 102 sell, and the single stories, when you said 242 was 237, so that went up just slightly, not much. And then the two stories we had 189 price per square foot.
Right.
So that went down a little bit.
Right.
And typically, that's lower than the single stories.
Right. Yep. That's good. Well, actually, no, it went up $3.
No, you had 193. I had 189.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was May.
Oh, yeah, May. That's right.
May comes before June.
Okay.
It went up a little.
Ooh,
just
okay. Can you believe?
Smidge.
Wait, we always talk about that. School's coming, Halloween, Christmas. So
I know. I'm not ready. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm really ready for Halloween. My neighbors don't know it yet. I love Halloween. Oh my gosh. We actually, when we first started this podcast, we talked a lot about Halloween. I think I rambled on for like 30 minutes.
Because we started around the month of September, October.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm personally, actually, the day that we're recording this, it is 100 days until Halloween from today. So anyway, start buying your candy. Don't eat it.
On with the reports. How about 34772? We had 70 that sold. The average price per square foot was $219. On one stories, we had 54 that sold, and it was about $234 price per square foot. And we had 16 two stories, and they were at $167 price per square foot. Compared to last month, went down a little bit. So from $234 in May, it was $222. On the single stories, on two stories, it was $167 versus last month, that one, it was $186. So it went down a little.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's funny because I do feel like everything's kind of like plateaued in some of the micro markets that I was monitoring, like Esprit. Was monitoring that community for a while, and there was a particular floor plan that's super popular in there, the Boca. Vicky used to have one, and I saw that one peak at about $420, and there's a listing now that's at like $399.9. So I'm like, so it's curious to see, like, we kind of hit the top right there, and we're kind of leveling it out. I feel like, so it'll be interesting to see what July's numbers bring. So
do
34773.
And for all you folks in Harmony, this includes you.
Yep. And does it include anything outside of Harmony?
It does go. It does go to Hollapar, but there's a lot of manufactured homes out there. So these are only single family homes, and I don't really see any. No, they all look like they're Harmony West and Harmony. That's it.
Okay. awesome. So in Harmony and Harmony West, we had a total of 25 sales last month. The average price per square foot about $203.52. Our one stories came in at call it 212, and our two stories came in at $189 a square foot.
Wow.
So where does that compare to last in May?
So in May, we had 20 sales versus this month, 25. The single stories came in at 217 a square foot. So that did go up. And then the two stories came in at 165. So that went down.
Opposite way. You
Opposite
keep going.
way. Yes. Yeah. Oh, right. Opposite way.
So your one stories came down a little bit.
Yep. One stories came down. Yeah.
No, the one stories also went up. What'd you say? 217?
So I had 212 versus 217 last month.
Right.
Yeah.
So 217. So it went up, yeah. Anyway.
$5.
No, it went down $5.
Down, yeah. That's why I said
down
down.
$5. And then, anyway, apparently we can't math.
No, it's too early.
It is.
Next time I'll just say May 1st, last month, and then I'll say this month.
Right.
That'll be easier for folks.
That'll be easier to remember. But anyway, so price is definitely kind of like leveling out here. And then, of course, we had the vacant land. So we have a total of 17 parcels that sold. Vacant land, the most expensive being 13,009.8 acres. But that's in Harmony Square Drive. That and then a $1.6 million parcel in Harmony Square Drive as well.
Yep, that's all that. Yep.
That's all that land that was left there. So those finally closed. And then just a couple of acres here or there. I mean, they're quite expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Old Hickory Tree Road, you have 705 and it's less than 5 acres, 4.55.
Right. So what does that come out to? I know you hate when I do this.
I do. You'll have to do the math. But all of them, out of the 17, 15 of them were cash, of course. And the rest, the two other ones was seller financing, which is interesting. So that was on Deer Run. They had two properties and they were both seller financed. So that's kind of neat for someone, that's like Kristen's brother was looking to purchase his lot next door. And I said the same thing. He didn't have all the funds. I said, go to the seller and ask him to finance.
Right. Exactly.
How's it going?
Not great. Not great. They're unreceptive so far, but that comes out to about $155,000 an acre for that one that was on Old Hickory Tree Road. So vacant land is, of course, especially out here, is a really big. It's going quickly if you can get your hands on a piece of land.
I wonder how far down Old Hickory Tree that would have been a good lot for. No, it's not big enough to say for church.
Yeah.
We need about 9-10 acres. So.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, any of you folks anywhere within the vicinity of Harmony that might have between 8 and 10 acres that you want to sell, we do have a local church that's looking for land. We'd love to be able to talk to you and get that going. What the heck? Might as well plug it.
Might as well. I mean, if we only had a spare $13 million laying around, we could have grabbed that Harmony property.
It's a church. Remember, it's a church. Can't they get some kind of deductible or something for gifting or part of the I don't know. So,
I'm sure there's something. So I'm sure there's something there for that. But anyway, so it's interesting. I mean, what are you seeing in terms of the market? Because I know, like for me, obviously, I feel like people have been busier. Agents have been busier with listing properties. We're definitely correcting the inventory problem. For a long time there, we had no inventory, which helped drive the prices crazy. And I think with the change in interest rates and more sellers, I feel like kind of feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't get on now, I might miss the boat. I don't think that's true, but anyway, so they're coming on the market, more frequently. So
it's almost like it lags behind, like the news, the idea of moving. I don't know what it is,
right.
And then maybe the fear of I'm going to miss this market, and they have that old fear of it's going to crash. It's not going to crash. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know what it is. It's interesting to watch, though. Like, why people take so long to make the decision to move.
Right.
Or maybe something happens, they have to. I'm sure that's the case.
Right. Or it could be, too, because I feel like some people were hesitant to list their property and sell because there was nothing available. Mm-hmm. But now that there's more available, now they're feeling more comfortable. Like, well, if I sell, I can find somewhere to go.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit of that. But it's interesting. If you've decided to sell recently, I'd love to hear from you why, what made you decide now to sell, kind of what your motivating factors are. Cause it's a good, I'm curious, why people choose to sell when they do.
Yeah. And for me, I think, once you get into September, it slows down, especially if this is traditional, even during COVID. I mean, it still slows down in September, and then November and December slows down again.
Right.
And I always say people that put their house on the market November, December, they have to get out. There's a reason for them putting out. That's a great time to buy.
Right. It is a great time to buy.
Nobody wants to move during the holidays.
No, not at all.
I had a phone call from someone at the title company that we used, and he said he had a niece or something that was moving and's looking, and she's trying to jump on the first thing, and he's like, I'm trying to give her advice. He said, I want your opinion. So I said to him, I said, well, if you want my opinion, I said, I tell her wait as close as she can to November, or at least the end of October.
Right.
Try October, November, because those people that put their houses on the market,
They have somewhere to go.
yeah, they have to get out.
Yeah.
No one likes to buy during that time.
No. I mean, listen, no offense. When I'm all decorated for the holidays, I don't want to keep my house clean.
No.
Like showings and
We
stuff.
don't want your house in pictures with your Christmas tree. No, we don't, right? I've listed houses during December. It's like, can we put up our tree? I was like, after the pictures, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they don't want it to look like, Christmas threw up in the house.
Right.
So.
And then if we're in a more traditional market and your property does sit a little bit longer, now if you're in January and you still got your Christmas stuff up on
MLS pictures,
and,
realtor.com. That even looks worse. It's like, wow, this house has been on the market a long time. Look, they have all their Christmas decorations up.
Right. I'm already on spring break.
Yes. Yeah. So it's interesting, but anyway, so yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And
Yep. And really quickly, I mean, can we talk about that ginormous piece of property, the new development coming on the east side of Lake Toho? Down south, they're supposed to have like this like crystal lagoon and like all
What's
that
the name
kind
of
of
that
stuff. Isn't it one of Whaley's?
oh, the one, yeah. I know when you go over the little turnpike bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
That looks like a crazy.
I don't know how they're going to handle that traffic.
I don't.
They're going to have to widen that bridge that goes over the turnpike.
Right. Well, they'll do that in about 15 years when the community is all built up and like, we never do anything beforehand.
Never proactive. I always thought Orange County was proactive, like with Lake Nona, but then even they don't seem like they're proactive.
No.
They're reactive. Everyone's reactive.
Right. And
the
it takes
schools
a
are,
long time.
well, what are the schools going to do? They can only, here's our building,
Right.
and here's how many we can take.
Right. Exactly.
So.
And we're going to have to do something about that too, because I mean, I know like they just moved in a bunch of portables into the high school. So I don't know what the plans are for the next school, but I mean, all the schools are bursting at the seams.
Bursting at the seams.
So, but unfortunately, like you said, it lags behind, You're lucky if you get.
I guess it's better than building a school and having it empty with half the students.
Right.
Then that costs the taxpayer money,
Right.
money.
Right. And we got to find teachers to fill the jobs.
Yes.
We
my
need
goodness.
teachers. I mean, I don't blame you. You can make more money working somewhere else, but we need teachers. We need people who still want to educate.
God bless the teachers. Because,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's I'm a teacher at heart, meaning I love to educate people, but I certainly would not want to be in a classroom with children. I did that for preschool many, many years ago, and God bless you. I couldn't even. Lauren wanted to homeschool, and I told her, "Oh heck no! I'd have you in front of the TV all day. I would not be a good teacher for you."
No, I'm not. I couldn't do it either. They have so much patience. I can't wait for my kids to go back to school every year.
I think homeschooling is going to be the new. It's always been here, but I think it's going to be the new wave, in my opinion.
Right.
Just because there's so many crazy things happening in schools that parents don't like, or being, maybe students, they're being taught something that the parents don't want them to be taught. And I just think it's going to be a new wave for more and more, people to get together and homeschool.
Right. And they have, I think there was definitely an uptick in homeschooling, during the pandemic, with people just kind of deciding to pull the kids out for whatever reason. And so, I agree. I think, homeschooling for the people that can do it, but there's a lot of people that can't do it, and we still need good teachers, and, just talk to your teachers. You'll find out what they're learning. It's fine. There's a lot of sensational things that go
That's
on.
true. That's true. The news.
They are not accurate. Just talk to your teachers, and get to know them and what they are, teaching and bring up any concerns with them. So
The last house that I just wanted to contract, 7045 Buttonbush, we actually advertised their loft area because I had to set it up as a desk area, is for homeschooling.
right.
Which is kind of neat.
Yep.
Usually
It
you
is.
say loft, extra family
Playroom,
space. Yeah.
yeah.
And so we advertise it as homeschool area, which is kind of nice.
Yep, it is. So
Anyway, we're getting
we'll
off
see.
track.
I know, totally off track. I mean, I was thinking about that new development that I just saw, which of course I can't remember the name to save my life. But we'll link to an article down below so you guys can learn more about that, what's coming. Massive. I think there was like 8 or 9,000, homes between homes and townhomes and stuff like that. So crazy. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us for this episode. If you guys have any questions about the market, if you're thinking of selling, you want a price on your house, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to give us a call at 1-844-St. Cloud. That's STCLOUD. You can also email us at discoverstcloud@gmail.com. And don't forget to comment. Let us know what you think.
We got a lot of comments. We'll get comments on like YouTube.
Yeah.
Facebook was a while, but YouTube.
Right. Yep. So if you're on YouTube watching this, you can leave us a comment and let us know what you think about the market. What do you think's going to happen? Because I'm the forever pessimist, but even I don't see the bottom dropping out.
We should have a picture of a Kristen glass half empty, Janine glass half full.
No, see, again, you always say that, but I'm actually a girl that says there's a half a glass there. Okay. I'm
right
a realist. It is
right in the middle.
There is a half a glass. I just see what's there. That's it. Anyway, but if you have any questions, definitely give us a call, send us an email, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you next time.